We have 2x squared times y squared minus xy. All right, we want to factor this polynomial. So once again, we're going to look at what do we have over here and what do we have over here, and do they have anything in common? Well, we know there's let's look at a 2. We got a 2 over here, but there isn't there's nothing that a 2 will go into over there as a coefficient on the right. We have 2 x's. We have 1 x. So we know we're going to be able to factor one of those x's out. We have 2 y's. We have 1 y. So we know we're going to be able to factor one of those y's out. Okay? And I guess what I should probably do, like I did in the previous problems, let's just break this, expand this thing out as much as we can, so maybe we can see it a little better. Of course, I won't be doing this every time. Okay. All right. What do we have? We have an x. I wanted to use a different color. We have an x and we have an x over here. So we know we're going to be able to pull out an x. We have a y. We have 1 y over here. And we know that we're going to be able to pull out that y. Now here's something else. Remember, we got to keep in mind that this thing is multiplied by 1, let's say. Because we're going to end up pulling out this x and this y. And when we do that, what's going to be left? Well, there's going to be a 1 there. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to pull out an x and a y. What are we going to be left with over here? We pulled this x out and this y out. So what we're left with is a 2, an x, and a y. Okay? So a 2, an x, and a y. That's what's left. Sorry. Now, we pulled out both of these terms. What's left? A 1. There's a 1 left. Okay, I want you to think of it that way. Okay, students have a hard time understanding that sometimes. We can always check our work by distributing this xy across each one of these terms, multiplying it to each one of these terms. We should get back what we started with. Okay, that's what we should be getting back. Okay, let's take a look at another one. We got negative 16x plus 2y plus 6c. All right, so once again, we're going to look at each one of these terms. What do they have in common? Well, there's not an x in this term, and there's not an x in that term. So we can't be pulling any x's out. So as you can see, each one of these terms is a different variable, right? X, y, and z. But what about this? Let's look at these coefficients, right? These integer coefficients, I guess you could call them. What's hiding in 16? That's also in the coefficient of 2y and the coefficient of 6z. I'll tell you, there's a 2 in there. That's right. Now I'm going to tell you something else we can do. You see this right here? This negative? We're going to factor that out too. Hang in there. We're going to go ahead and factor that out. If we were asked to factor it out, let's do it. So we're going to pull this negative out. Now let's pretend that's a negative 1. Okay? It's a negative 1. What else were we going to pull out? What's hiding in 16? It's also here. A 2. There's a 2 hiding in there. I'm telling you. Take my word for it. All right, what are we left with? 2 goes into 16 how many times? 8 times. In other words, 2 times 8 is 16. See that? All right, but let's not forget the x. We couldn't factor that out. Now we pulled this 2 out, so we got to just write a y there. And what's hiding? There's a 2 hiding over here in 6 also. There's a 2 hiding in there. We got to pull him out of the bushes and see what's left. Yep. See, when 2 heights close to 3, they look like a 6. I don't know. That's some conspiracy stuff going on there. All right, let's take a look at this. -1 times 2 is just -2. All right. And 8x plus y plus 3z. Okay, 3z, that kind of ran off the screen there a little bit. Ran off the screen. Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, doggies. I hope you saw that. I hope you saw that before I did. There's a minus sign here. What happened? Well, remember, we take this negative and we multiply it back inside. That -2 times -y is going to make it a positive y. Okay, so this is tricky. You got to really watch for that. What else? What else? What else happened there? Well, right? Same thing's going on here. That's going to become a minus 3z. Because once again, when you multiply that -2 times the -3z, or minus 3z, what are we going to get? We're going to get a 6z. Okay, what we started with up here. All right. So I guess I need to change it here also. I didn't do that. Yeah. You got to watch these things closely. Okay, so hopefully you caught that before I did. What time is it? 7 minutes has gone by. Oh my gosh. Let's I don't know. I guess we're going to work one more real fast. How's that? Real fast. We're going to do one more real fast. -8x squared plus 8x cubed. They're trying to trick you here because this thing's not in standard order form. Plus 16x. In other words, right, this is the leading term, the one with the largest exponent. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and write it in the standard form that it should be in. 8x cubed minus 8x squared plus 16x. Okay. All right, what does this thing have in common? Well, we have an 8, and there's an 8 hiding in 16. There's 3 x's, 2 x's, and 1 x. So we're going to pull the one out that has the smallest exponent, and that happens to be this x to the first power here. All right. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so we're going to pull out an 8, an x. What are we going to be left with in this first term? An x squared. In the second term, minus, we pulled that 8 out. We're only left with 1x. And out of the 16, if we pull an 8 out of there, 2 times 8 is 16. There's a 2 left. And we pulled that x out. You see that? If you multiply this thing back across inside, we should get our original 8x cubed minus 8x squared plus 16x. Okay. All right. Anyway, that pretty much ends this session of examples. We got lots more to go. Much more important stuff going on in this section. I'll see you in the next video.